Yay, we are live. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining our live stream today. I'm Sarah McKenna with Sequentum.
And I am Craig DeWitt with Skyfire.
So a little bit about Sequentum to give you some context. Many of you know that we have 18 years of maturity. We are profitable, we're bootstrapped, and our focus has started in web scraping and of course went into web automation. And now we're adding agentic checkouts. Sequentum is a company that has the most discerning customers. We've been around for a long time. We have all of the regulated industries like background checks and investment banks, hedge funds, financial institutions, healthcare companies, government agencies, anyone who has a mission critical need for web data that they can trust. Those are our customers. And one of the reasons why they go with us is because we have this very advanced human-mimetic engineering that gets past all the blocking. And of course, we have all the robust audit trails and governance that you would need. We're also really focused on efficiency, right? So at runtime, everything is completely deterministic. So even in this age of AI, we have AI-powered agent generation, AI-powered unblocking, AI-powered productivity enablers. We do not have AI at runtime. So everything is super scalable, really efficient. We really believe that we have the most enterprise-grade platform for trusted agents. And we were super flattered to be approached by Skyfire to be their hands of web automation. We initially met with them because we were interested in pay to scrape. And when they saw our platform, they were like, oh my God, we need web automation that works, that's not blocked, and that can actually be the hands of those agentic checkouts. And that's where this effort was born. Do you want to talk about Skyfire and KYP?
Yeah, Sarah, thank you for having me. So I'm the co-founder of Skyfire and very excited to be working with Sequentum. Really, our premise is that there's a missing trust layer on the web today of agents being able to identify who they're working on behalf of when that's necessary, and ultimately to actually do commerce. Everything pretty much boils down to like being able to pay for stuff there. And so we have a wallet product that we have integrated with Sequentum that allows Sequentum-based agents to be able to securely use credit cards where necessary with user mandates to be able to complete checkouts on the internet that exists today. Which we think is a huge step forward for agents, because you hear about these protocols and API-based approaches, and well, I mean, it turns out the internet is a very, very big place. And if you're going to be able to give agents the ability of doing anything ubiquitous today, you got to use that. So Sequentum, I think the great way to think about it, like Sequentum is the hands, and then when necessary, Skyfire is kind of like the driver's license and the credit card to be plugged in. Mm-hmm. So we have an open protocol that we built called KYA and KYA Pay. And really what that is, it's an open way for agents to be able to tell the security layers and the merchants who they're working on behalf of and essentially who they are. And that allows a lot of straight-through processing, especially in places like checkout, where you have security providers that are looking at specific behaviors that have historically been things that they did not want to accept, but now are critical to the business. And so if you're building automations that need to be able to go out and buy things or do things, Sequentum is kind of the first call to make. And if that agent needs a wallet and needs to identify itself, like we're part of that solution for you to kind of get that done in a reliable fashion.
Yeah, and I should mention also that Sequentum is SOC 2 Type 2 audit tested, and it's not like we did some Delph thing in 10 minutes. We've had that standard of security for years after doing the real hard work. And we also have federated identities through Okta and Microsoft and Google. So for B2B agentic checkouts, we have our role-based access controls, we have all the governance and the audit trails down to the user. But with that, I'm lost. I don't have any feedback. Are we back online? We just got a message saying the connection was lost. Well, I'm going to just keep going. So with that, we'd like to show a demo. I'm going to share my screen, and this is exciting. All right. So this is the Sequentum Skyfire checkout. Basically, you just, the first thing it does is it launches a search agent that responds to a prompt. Somebody wants, find me the best Bose headphones to buy. Of course, you could have lots of different use cases here. You could be Ariba or Coupa, facilitating acquisitions on behalf of someone. I'm going to go ahead and choose one, authorize the payment.
Yep. So what's happening here is for these enrolled cards, your agent now has access to any card that has been enrolled. So if you choose that card, we'll verify now. And this is you saying, okay, I'm going to allow my Sequentum agent to be able to pay $470, in this case, at Bose.com. What's great there is that agent now has a signed transaction of you allowing it to spend that amount, which is what we use to be able to give back that agent a tokenized credit card. And you're going to see that get put to use here.
Right. And so what they're doing is they're sending us that temporary credit card and the buyer information, and we're sticking it into an agent and automating that checkout. It always waits a moment in that interchange, and then you'll be able to see the agent going ahead and checking out.
Now, the cool thing here, at least that we see issues with, is if you don't have a best-in-market agent or automation platform, this is actually, there's a lot of stuff here that is actually pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's overlooked by that. If you're starting out in the space, like,
yeah, they're like, well, use visual AI, it'll work perfectly. It doesn't work at all. But we've perfected this web automation over 18 years. And we have this low code system, and it's, 95% of what you need to do, you can do through point and click. There's a visual editor.
So Sarah, what are we looking at right
now? It's just waiting on that temporary card that you're going to send over. And
Yep,
this is
there it
the
is.
checkout cart. And now it's checking out. And now we can go back over here. It's exporting. And it's basically sending all of those files over to Skyfire. There's a video audit. There's a log file audit. There's screenshots every step of the way. When it's complete, there's your receipt,
Nice.
right? That purchase the agents, and you can see, what gets sent back, right? So a lot of people don't trust this process. So, we're obsessed with trust. Our tagline is trust in data. In this case, it's trust in agents. So we have screenshots every step of the way. And we have a video, which you can also play, of exactly how the checkout happened. And then, of course, at the end, there's our log file. So you can really go and audit exactly how this happened. And that goes a long way when it comes to building trust.
Absolutely. Especially if things do go wrong, the ability of actually seeing what has happened is critical. And that's been something, at least, that we've used Sequentum for, is having that kind of visibility if you ever need to debug one of these web flows.
Yep. Yeah, if you need to debug, if you need to understand, if anything, because there's always edge cases with these websites. And the other thing about Sequentum that you should know is we have, or Craig knows this and his team knows this, we have data validation, success criteria, quality checks every step of the way. So we have those kind of internal guardrails. So the second that website is different and it's not working the way you expect, we have everything in place to immediately basically point, click, fix, and get it back online right away with a human in the loop. So we can automatically do it. In our case, our customers who are in regulated industries, they're not really trusting that. So instead, we have a human in the loop process.
Yeah. So what I love about this demo is that these are not bespoke integrations using Sequentum, and now with a wallet service, you're able to come in and build an agentic commerce experience that has a degree of ubiquity. And that has been the promise with agentic commerce, is if you are doing a retail platform, if you're doing even B2B payments, you need to have a dynamic solution to where you can securely pay, but have a high reliability on that service.
You need that security. You need those federated identities to be able to log in to MCP or an API from your, from the agent, environment and context, but you need to be able to do it in a way that's safe, secure, and audited.
Completely.
You completely govern.
Yeah.
Solution.
And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about our partnership is that if you're out there and you're saying, hey, I want to, one, build agents that can go out and do things, like you have a solution. You have a solution now. It's Sequentum with a wallet. And the second piece is, I think, also interesting. If you happen to be a merchant and hearing this, that's also a place where we can help out as well, to make it easier for agents to be able to completely check out. Because, I mean, just from what we've seen, the amount of inbound use cases that you and I are both seeing once we've announced this partnership are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Payment solutions.
We just talked to our first customer this morning to get the details in place.
If there are so many various use cases of automation with some kind of payment at the end of it, that gets me really excited, because now there's a way to do it with PCI in a PCI compliant fashion, not just through the Sequentum platform, but also how the cards are handled, which is the wallet solution that we provide, and then additional access to these protected checkouts. I think, at least you mentioned, people initially think that the automation might be easy until they get the rat's nest.
And then they try it and they're like, oh my God, does not work. They need 18 years of finding all those edge cases and building it into the platform.
Completely. We have found something similar at checkout.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just plugging a credit card into a form. What's so hard about that? Try it at any scale, and you will see the problems with it. So I think these two things together can completely streamline how fast to market users can get for building these agentic experiences.
Right. I do want to make a plug for Pay to Scrape also. We're happy to do it as soon as we find a publisher who's willing to look at us.
Absolutely. Yeah, Pay to Scrape for folks out there. Agents trying to access these publishers, just a quick side there, is like, that market is
business, right? But our customers, we do a lot of work in standards, which is how we came across Skyfire in the first place. And we're trying to do things in the right way, right? There's an explosion of AI crawlers, and these websites are suffering volume of abuse. Our customers have been doing this, obviously, for 18 years. They have mission critical, like fighting human trafficking. Did you know that's a web scraping use case, right? I mean, these customers are not going to stop scraping. And they actually need to be permitted. But and they're happy to legitimize, they don't want to get a cease and desist. They don't want to deal with the bot blocking, which drives up the costs of operation. They really just want their use case to be legitimized. And they're happy to have some sort of cryptographic self-identifying token that says, look, I've been vetted, right? It doesn't have to be that they're giving up their identity. They can have anonymous attestation, but they can do this in a way that's respectful of the website, and they can partner with the website. And if it's, the lolcats community on Reddit that wants to pull together all of the data from Reddit and have a regular thing that's scraping Reddit for lolcats examples. I think this is a dumb example, but they should be able to pay something to Reddit for that, so that, Reddit doesn't have such a problem with that type of traffic. So we would love to enable pay to scrape, protocols. Hopefully we'll find some publishers.
I think that the foundational piece behind all this is Sequentum is you have access, and now you have a way to pay. Whether that's pay to scrape or pay with a wallet through a checkout piece.
We're ready.
Out of the box.
We're ready. We're SOC 2 Type 2. We have federated identities. We have everything that you would.
All right, so we've got some
questions. Okay. Really nice work on your logs and compliance process. This will be really useful,
especially in the BPO vendor space. That is for sure.
Let's see what other questions, how to get started.
Okay, well, it's pretty simple. We have documentation every step of the way. You want to get your wallet set up with Skyfire, you want to get your agent set up with us. And we have support teams and whatnot. come to sequentum.com. And obviously we have federated identity, so you just stick your email in and you're on the platform.
Connection lost again.
All right. Well, I think if there are no more questions.
Well, this is great. Super excited about the partnership and the emerging use cases. And yeah, me too.
Super excited. Looking forward to hear from you guys.
Thanks all.